Hello and welcome to This Podcast Cannot Continue. Reacts, I guess we're covering the Sony State of Play, June 2nd, 2022. This is sort of the Sony event for, in air quotes, E3 month. I know that E3 is no longer a thing, but obviously that's kind of how I'm always going to think of this. I don't know how you feel about this,
I'm not
Ben.
going to lie. I don't think it is. Not in its entirety. I think there's a chance we'll hear something else. I don't necessarily know if they'll squeeze two State of Plays super back-to-back or anything, but they specifically went out of their way to say that this one's for third-party partners and a sneak peek at PSVR 2 software. So you know what I mean? Like, one of the things I think we heard that there's specifically not going to be like God of War Ragnarok or right. And so if it was supposed to be kind of their like E3 thing, I would have anticipated seeing, you know, some of the first party stuff at E3 as well. So I guess what I'm saying is I anticipate that their totality, I'm saying E3, of course, I guess we're calling it like Summer Game Fest. So what this time frame of games, media coverage cycle, hype cycle, whatever. Basically, I would expect maybe there to be some accompanying thing later for first party, because it would be weird if they were like, yep, this is our whole like start of summer thing is just third party in VR. So it just seems a little weird to me, right?
So if this is third party, as we know, I'm thinking it's going to be obviously probably PlayStation exclusive third party. So are we? Do you, like the big question? I mean,
maybe. I don't know.
Do you think we're going to see Final Fantasy 16?
I actually do think it's possible, because Yoshi P, I think in an interview recently said he wanted to show us the game soon, and that they had like a trailer or something that would have been ready to go, but literally just needed like a recut or an edit or something like that because of some kind of issue. And that was a few months ago, and the next obvious time, or like a month or two ago, so the next obvious time would be something like this. It really wouldn't surprise me actually this time around to see it there. I also want to point out that on BioWare's blog website they announced the title of their next Dragon Age game, and this like just got posted 4 hours ago, so I wonder if there's like gonna be things like that corresponding to this announcement, although I think that they would, if it was going to be in a State of Play, they would just hold the blog post until after the State of Play broadcasts. So I'm not 100% sure about that. Also, I don't know, what else could we see? If it's PSVR 2, I have a question about PSVR 2 that I've been waiting to see for a long time, which is that we know the controllers are different, and we know, and this is the most important compared to PSVR 1, is that the tracking scheme is different. It's what they call like inside-out tracking, which means the trackers are built into the headset instead of like having some kind of external thing that tracks you from a different position, like I think the like PS4 VR used like the camera thing accessory to see it. And so the reason why this matters is because I missed out on PSVR 1 and want to play some of the games that were available in PSVR 1 when PSVR 2 comes out, and I'm worried that they won't be compatible without the developers specifically patching for compatibility, unless Sony has some brilliant compatibility layer conversion tech, because from my understanding, the way that software uses the hardware, it's not like a VR game on PC where it's designed to be universal and support a wide array of headsets. It's like it might be more narrow. So like I want to play, for example, Astrobot Rescue Mission. I want to play Tetris Effect in VR, and I tend to play the PlayStation version of that game. You know, things like that. So and you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. I want that question answered, but I don't think we'll get that question at State of Play. I think Sony's been keeping the nitty-gritty tech details in their blog posts and more straightforward like hype announcement trailer stuff. But I could see that if they do like a little VR montage, if we see some of those older PSVR titles in it, then that would suggest an update. So I don't know. I'm looking out for that. I don't know what else third party. I know Hogwarts Legacy, we had a whole State of Play on it though, so I wouldn't expect more than a flash of that in a montage. I don't know.
That's true.
I mean, I want to be surprised. I want to see things that I don't know.
I'm kind of just going into this hoping for Final Fantasy and whatever else they show. The VR stuff is really cool.
Me too.
I am very interested in PSVR 2. If I got VR, it would probably be the one I get, but there's got to be software behind it, I think, is the main thing for me.
I think for me, the biggest thing with VR is like it feels kind of like index or bust or something like PSVR. Like, I don't really want to like take a half measure, so either like highly curated like Sony's kind of thing, or like the best that's available on PC. And I think Valve indexes are like really hard to get because they have manufacturing problems getting the screens they use in the headsets, like supply issues, so they're still hard to get.
Here we go.
Anyway, yeah, here we go. Rating pending. Okay. Oh my God, what's that? It's a PlayStation.
You're ahead.
That's crazy. I can just look right and see one of those. 3. Wait, this font reminds me of like the Rainbow Six Siege font. 3/24/23. March 24, 2023. Oh.
You're ahead of me by like a solid 3 seconds.
I see a letter R.
Is this like New Last of Us?
Nope. I don't think that would involve the letter R.
No, you're right.
Tall, narrow font, though. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Just continue the trend of remakes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this makes sense. Fair enough.
I'm really curious what it's going to look like.
Do you think they're just going to keep doing this until they've caught up to the like modern releases?
well, they've done all the quote-unquote good games, and now we're into something else, though, with 5 and 6,
if they do.
5 and 6 are modern enough that they could probably just update them, like,
right,
give them a new coat of paint. This looks like a complete rebuild.
In the vein of the 1, 2, 3 ones they did.
This looks good. Oh, wow. Do the line. Where's everybody going? Bingo? Come on. Gotta leave that in here. It's too good. Like, they're really hyping this up to be scary. The original game is funny. Like, not on purpose, I don't think, all the time, but, like, Resident Evil 4 is, like, funny.
Right. Looks good. That RE engine they made a few years back, I think it started with RE7, has been doing a lot of good for Capcom. Not a lot. I feel like in the past decade, in-house engines have always been a bit of a flop. Like when EA was like, all our developers are going to use Frostbite, and it like created huge problems because like nobody was used to it. But like in Capcom's case, it seems like RE Engine has been paying off huge.
It has to.
I'm going to hit refresh on my end while
Yeah,
we're
that's
doing
fine.
RE4, just because I really want it to be up to date.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was definitely.
I just saw like the title fade out and then fade back into an image. Okay, we're synced.
We're synced now, everybody.
Ooh, I mean, I'm
That's
not
very
surprised.
interesting.
I'm not too surprised about that because RE7 was a game that pushed having a VR version for a while, and they've been kind of.
I've heard people have like a very difficult time playing that game in VR because it's actually immersive enough that it's like terrifying.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Now let's
Okay.
get a sneak peek at 4 games
DLC?
in development for PlayStation VR 2.
Oh, okay.
Or
okay.
VR conversions.
You know what? No, leading with Resident Evil in VR, that's a good move.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, it is. That's
That's a
true.
really good move.
Wow. Well, Ethan Winters.
7
Oh, yeah.
was a bit of a hit in that way, so fair enough.
Did you?
And people have been doing mods, I think, for Village in VR. Or is there already a VR support on the PC?
I honestly don't know. As a non-RE player, cannot say that I know.
I've said it before on the show, and I'm going to say it again here. I am like a distant admirer of RE. I really want to play it. It seems totally up my alley. I'm just a big scaredy cat. It's just when RE does good, I get excited. I'm just like, good for you guys, you know?
Right.
I don't know. I think that what it's doing is rad because it's spooky, but it's just fantastical enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit action movie, a little bit video gamey, even when it's at its scariest, and I kind of like that. Yo, this is kind of rad.
Yeah, it does. It's very interesting to see, like, kind of wobbly cam as if it's really on someone's head, because I feel like even VR footage is usually so curated. Like, one of the things that they often do for, like, so, like, gameplay trailers and reveals for something like Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 would, like, even though they were saying, oh, yeah, it's going to be great on PC, they'll never show you PC footage because mouse movement is, like, really disorienting for a lot of players, and it just doesn't look as smooth in like a trailer format, so they always do like camera on stick or whatever. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like the camera was wobbling like we were really looking at VR footage for the RE, but like that's not the case here, you see what I mean? So I thought that was interesting that they were willing to put like maybe they actually just stuck a headset on like a person in the office for some of those shots and recorded the output of the render.
Is this a new game?
Or
is this like Dying Light or something?
I think this is another existing game getting a VR version. Because this looks familiar.
It looks like Dying Light, maybe. I don't know enough about that series to honestly say if this is that or not.
I don't. Yeah, I
but
don't
it happens
know.
in a city and there's zombies.
Oh.
Okay.
Tourist.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Probably, I feel like they said 4 titles, right? Or am I remembering wrong? I think they said they were going to show us 4 things coming to PSVR.
Yeah, they're going to show a couple off.
Is this, oh my god, I'm so bad at recognizing some of these games. Is this Elite? Elite Dangerous? I'm not sure. Oh no, I see Sean, whatever his name, on the user thing. This is No Man's Sky. Yeah. What am I talking about? Okay, I feel like the reason I thought that is because there's an orange thing in the ship HUD in the middle. You see that thing? And I swear like Elite has something like that. But you see the interface at the bottom left, like the player name was like Sean Murray or whatever is the No Man's Sky guy. If that's the correct name.
This is maybe a weird question because maybe we've touched on this before. I know it's common knowledge that this game is now like better. Is it? Should I play this game? Like it kind of looks awesome.
I mean, I've heard that it's still a little bit open-ended and that you still to a certain degree have to kind of make your own fun.
Yeah.
But it has a lot more depth and a lot more variety and a lot more like the systems are better tuned for like being fun and not heavily like obligational or whatever. But one of the weird things is like you can like build stuff and craft stuff and you kind of like do base building, but you're like heavily encouraged and pushed by the game all the time to like go to another planet and go to another planet. So like for people that like to get really attached to like making a really cool base, the game I've heard can be unsatisfying. It kind of depends on what you want to get out of it, seems to be the consensus. This looks really good.
I'm just curious if it's on rails or if it's actually adventure.
I suspect it's probably pretty on rails, but I think that's probably okay too.
Probably played this game. Not this
like
game, but like the other ones.
Original Horizon and.
Well, I got it. It was I have it digitally. I just didn't.
It was
so
a PS Plus title recently.
Yeah, there's so many things to play that I just haven't gotten into it. But
I played like maybe 6 or 8 hours of it or something, and then kind of dropped off. But I would like to go back and finish it myself.
It's funny. I feel like we really show off what kind of games we like to play a lot because this is definitely something that I would play. It's just it falls below the list when all the RPGs come out. When all the you know what I mean? Like
yeah, gets deprioritized. I really don't like the way that the Genshin crossover kind of depicted her character.
I hope you enjoyed
Aloy.
your first look at Horizon Call of the Mountain, coming
exclusively
exclusively
some answers
to PlayStation VR 2. We're also happy to announce that a big update to Horizon Forbidden West, including New Game Plus, will be available to download on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 today.
Okay.
Hey,
Today's stuff is always exciting.
this is a big deal if you've been playing this game.
I even think that, obviously, like, you know, sequel with all the new tech, like,
in the game.
like fair enough and everything, but I think even the original version of the game, because you get like super performance mode or whatever, where it's like on PS4 Pro you would have had to choose like fidelity or frame rate, and like on PS5 you just get both, so it's like 4K 60. Makes it look like it doesn't feel as much like you're playing a last gen game, which is like nice and cozy.
I remember when the original one was announced, probably at an E3. I remember watching the trailer and being like,
Yeah.
rad. And then I still have not played it. Like
Get
you know,
ready.
all these years.
A PlayStation fan favorite is coming to PC.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Okay, PC releases. I like this.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
These past few years,
Hmm.
sacrificing
Oh.
so much and asking
All
for
right.
nothing.
Oh, okay, not what I thought. Okay.
Can't. Yep. Actually, can't say I expected that to be their next PC port.
But it makes sense. I mean, it's a game that's critically acclaimed and it's been locked to the PlayStation, right? Like,
Yep.
this is
I just didn't think it would be this one. You know.
this is literally the equivalent of printing money. Like they just like, you know,
Yeah.
Time to bring back the glory days.
like of course.
I hope it has all the tech out of the remastered version that, as far as I'm aware, you can still... Okay, yeah.
There it is.
On PS5, you can, I think, still only get remastered by buying Miles Morales Ultimate Edition or whatever. Like, I think on the PS5, you can only get that by getting it in the... Okay, I forgot all about this game, but yes, I want to know when this comes out, because it looks so cool. And I like cats. And I think it's a interesting perspective for a game.
Fair enough.
I've been stoked about this since we've seen it.
Well, we've never seen this like them scared of us though thing before, have we?
No, we haven't. We didn't see gameplay perspective. We saw the cat running around, climbing and stuff. Oh, that's cool. They did the reflection thing when the light hits at the right angle. And the walk cycle looks a little stiff. Looks just a little bit wrong to me. A lot of the other animations look good though.
Badge. See what you mean. I think it's just like calculated quick movements. Cats do that, don't they?
Oh, like the jumps and stuff look fine. See that? So I guess it's just it's literally just the walk. The run looks great. The run looks absolutely good to me. The walk looks a little strange though.
What? Did you see that eyeball wall?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
The scenery and like the environments look super amazing. I wonder what like the story of this will be like and how it will be presented. It looks like we did see dialogue with text.
That's soon.
So it's not going to be like Runic or like a Hyperlight Drifter or something where there's no
cross-gen.
I didn't expect that.
Members and higher can download Stray at no extra cost when it launches next month.
Okay.
That's interesting. They're really pushing this new tier, eh?
Yeah.
But you
what
know
did they
what?
say next? What? What'd she say?
Get your heart racing.
I see space. I see a weird tower thing that looks like the...
Don't know.
Corrections?
Crafting.
What? I don't know what that means.
Every game has crafting in it now.
Take a look outside. Did you know that they call Callisto the dead moon?
Okay.
Dead. Just like you would have been if
Oh,
I
is this
picked
that...
you out of that rack.
Oh god, was it like the Callisto Project? There was a game that was like by the person who made Dead Space and was like, this is our like spiritual successor. It's like a different studio now. Is that what this is?
Go.
Well, they mentioned Callisto by name, so I'd assume probably.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think that's what that game was called too, so this sort of adds up.
Also, just all the vibes and the health bar across the back of the neck there. You see that little green?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't have any confirmation that's what it is, but
That's what this looks like to me. Because we saw a very short preview.
you know what's getting me these days is how good they've gotten faces. You know how like
Yeah.
there used to be like the dead eye thing, and I still think there's definitely some uncanny valley going on, but like it's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. You know what I mean? Like they got like the minute eye movements and mini facial expressions going on now that it's tricky.
I
It's
just
really
love
good.
That last part.
Oh no.
Gives me
Gruesome.
chills every time.
Face and horror go together really good.
Yeah.
This is really visceral. Yeah, it's that Callisto. Okay.
Oh,
That could be
Protocol.
great.
I said Project. Yeah, that's the one that the original like Dead Space director is doing with his new company or whatever. So I
seems
felt
like
it was tickling my brain that I'd seen it before.
In the year 2030,
This art
This
style
looks
is
like the-
nice. Did
Did
we
you
see this before?
No, there's a game that uses this art style already. What's it
Oh,
called?
Private Division.
You know what it's
There
called.
will only be the victorious
I don't remember what
and
it's
the
called.
dead.
Let me see.
Oh.
I'm totally down
Interesting.
for games that look like cartoons. I'm gonna find the name of the game because I know what it is, but I don't remember the name.
This looks really cool. There's like weird pauses and slow down, like time slow kind of stuff. It looks like that's more of a mechanic than a trailer feature. Well, I can't tell. I think it's part of the game and not
The world is watching.
not trailer stylization. That looks great. The kind of synthwave sort of
Yeah,
OST
run
there
music.
is really
Yeah,
appropriate
yeah.
for that.
If things will ever
This seems very Square Enixy. Is this?
This is not 15.
Oh, maybe not. But we're in anime or JRPG territory now, or visual novel or something. Huh. Okay.
This looks interesting.
Looks. The UI is surprisingly minimalist, which gives me like a. Is this like
The
a
world hasn't ended yet. It's not hopeless. I won't let anyone else get hurt.
port of something?
Don't you want science in your corner?
The game is called Sable. Sable is the game with the similar art style.
Okay.
Sorry that took so long to find.
No
I didn't know the
worries.
name, so I googled desert game cartoon indie. I was
Okay.
Okay, so this looks interesting.
So it's some kind of like action.
Action RPG.
Yeah, I'm saying the HUD is so lightweight and minimalist, and like when you had abilities, it was like an element on each face button under
Yeah.
some circumstance, which gives me like a maybe not so much
Turn
RPG, maybe really just an action kind of game. But that looks cool. Eternites.
Sure.
Looks interesting.
Keep an eye out.
Action games and dating sims collide in
Oh.
Eternites.
Oh, okay.
Coming to PS5 and PS4 next year.
Okay, I don't know.
Sign
Still
me up.
Capcom
kind of
for a
could
new
be
look
interesting,
and
yeah.
upcoming heavy
I guess
hitter.
it's like Persona with less RPG elements or something. Another heavy hitter, they said?
From
Capcom?
Capcom.
Oh, this is that
Street Fighter.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I thought it was going to be that game again, because they keep using like cityscapes, and it makes me think of that like Pragmata or whatever that they showed us,
this
but
is
you're no,
Dinosaur?
this is but this is Street
Definitely
Fighter. If they say Capcom and show a cityscape like that, it just confuses me because of that game
Looking for strength.
that they showed very
It's not
early
like
on
a
in the
game.
PS5
This journey doesn't
reveals.
have a real ending.
This is oh god, what's his name?
Okay then. Hope you're ready to begin.
I'm not good enough at knowing like the
You wanna
less
start off on the right foot in this
popular
city.
Street Fighter characters offhand. I can't remember.
Street Fighter World Tour.
These
these are
environments are pretty
nice.
detailed for something that I would expect to only see in
Wait
cutscenes
a
and the backgrounds of
second.
stages.
This isn't Street
Oh.
Fighter.
Oh, what the?
Metro
Are they about to
City.
tell us that Street Fighter 6 is gonna have a story mode?
Is this Final Fight? Oh, that's Chun-Li.
I think this is Street Fighter, and what this is there's a story mode in 6 with free roaming between fights. I think that's what we're being shown.
Okay.
Which honestly is actually kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, just turn it into Yakuza.
That's honestly not a bad idea. Yeah. That'll get a lot of people. One of the things that fighting game developers have been asking for so long is how do we get people into fighting games. And one of the things the community's been saying for so long is like even though people like story modes or whatever, they're always super like underbaked and and don't actually work, but if there was like a really good one, it could work or whatever. And mixing it with like stuff that we've seen from like other kind of genres between fights is like a really good way, I think, to bridge the gap to like possible newcomers.
Maybe this is controversial, but I kind of really like the art style they got going on here.
I like it better than 5. It looks very similar, but it just, I think, a little more fidelity. One of the big problems with 5 is I found the backgrounds really ugly and like didn't let the characters.
Like, look at these particle effects. Like, it's very pretty to look at.
Yeah, it's like paint stuff are following all of like the smears, the animation.
And also,
well,
like,
there's
the
not
motion
smears,
blur
but
around the kicks and everything. Like, it's all.
Yeah, things are looking very
6. Okay.
Visually good.
I don't like that logo, but whatever.
I mean, it's a better take on it than the logo that we got prior that was basically like stock art.
Oh yeah.
Was that looked like it might have been the online hub at just the very end there. So you'll perhaps like go to a specific location to go online.
I just wish they'd still use
play.
the original like Street Fighter like on Street Fighter 2, like the way it was like written in like graffiti. Like, you know how it's like the iconic Street Fighter logo?
Oh,
I just wish they kept using it.
2023.
I don't know. I think
instead
that's
of
good.
changing the typeface.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey. Okay. Sure. I mean,
cool.
This game's already out and it's great, so. Now I just have more ways of playing this game, I guess.
Yep. Good thing.
Nothing wrong with that. I think this trailer's kind of giving away some of the fun. That book part, though, is real rad.
Mm-hmm.
I dig what this game is.
It's not too far away. Okay.
I mean, you could play it.
And then another
today if
indie.
you wanted
I think she said 2 indies. So okay, we saw this one as well. This is the one. This character rides like a bike, I think.
That is what I remember.
Yeah.
She set out
wow, that's pretty. I guess
yeah.
That's really pretty looking.
To make it real for people in the future.
The animation is really good too. Together. Just like that, walking the bike like that looked so right to me.
About traveling alone. When the season turns, what will remain?
Like a post-apocalyptic thing.
Only what
kind of looks like it might be.
I always find like we have so many
like
video games that are post-apocalyptic and there's like danger, you know, like it's like an apocalypse or an alien takeover or robots. But I always find the games that are apocalyptic and nothing really happened to be kind of spookier sometimes in a way, you know, where it's just a vast expanse of nothing. That's like an aesthetic that I think is underutilized in games a lot because it doesn't offer too many opportunities for things that games like combat, right? But I think there's definitely ways to explore those worlds. I know indie games definitely try to do that. Shout out if you have any recommendations for me out there, because I like that.
That scene and shot is cool.
Not yet.
Letter to the Future.
We'd seen this game before, and I think we did have the name already as well.
That's
Autumn
soon.
2022. Yeah, it's not that far away. Oh, here we go.
Yes, let's go.
I love when Yoshi comes on to tell us things. It's almost always good.
I'm so excited. Starting interviews. Dude, that means this is coming out this year. They wouldn't start an interview tour if it wasn't coming out soon.
Yeah.
ゲームを一生懸命作るということしかできません。ゲームというエンターテインメントを通じてゲーマーの皆さんが心の底から楽しめる時間を提供していきたいと思ってます。
Great.
それでは最新のトレーラーをどうぞ。
See the best asset that Square Enix has right now in their employ? I don't know, maybe.
I mean, it's not a competition, but I'm very glad that they put him in charge of the next mainline game.
Here we go.
And
here we go.
Creative Business Unit 3.
Who are we?
their dominance. The
Okay.
power we
Don't yell because I cranked my headphones.
bears away at our very being.
All right, there's
Garuda.
Garuda.
Yeah.
Ifrit.
That its immaculate
Bahamut.
aspect might reveal itself. The icon.
And I guess we
watch
might
it
have
for a
assumed
while.
that was Titan.
to be another war, isn't there?
Every day we delay brings us closer to disaster.
Oh, we got UI.
We must move now.
Okay.
The chaos he would wreak would sweep all of us into the abyss.
Arkish Mesmerizer. Collateral Upheaval. Takedown Lunge. We have a whole combo system in the upper right.
Very Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Well, they got the combat.
So there seems to be on the right there, he seems to be able to shuffle through icons, and those are like styles of fighting. Do you see that?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I noticed that they are red, blue, and green, but that just could be to match, like, I don't know, elements.
They showed us Garuda, Ifrit, and Bahamut, and they were red, blue, and green. That's Titan, Shiva.
We did see Titan and Shiva battling it out in the prior trailer. Is that
Odin?
like Odin? Yeah, maybe.
Phoenix. Icon of Fire versus Phoenix. Ifrit. Whoa, wait. Why are the icons fighting each other?
Liquid Flame. Uh-oh. Living Liquid? Uh-oh.
What is this gonna play like? Like, I have no idea.
Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another
Okay, we
can
did
be
get
built.
confirmation that was
The
Bahamut.
Empire will live on.
Interesting.
They're saying their names, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it seems like these
The icons, fight like,
will be fighting each other. Yeah.
Dude, you know what it reminds me of?
Hang on. Huh. Okay. So about a year away.
That hurts. Oh no. No. That's a little painful, I'm not gonna lie.
And that's a wrap.
Um,
Don't forget to visit PlayStation blog
Yeah,
to
I was
learn more about
predicting
today's
next
announcements.
spring.
See you next
Like
time.
I was thinking maybe like it would be February or March or something. I think
Really
I
hope it
remember.
would be this year.
Yeah, I think I remember saying something like that in a recent podcast episode, but I find it a little bit unsurprising. So I guess like I was almost, I don't know, for lack of a better word, I was like prepared to expect that. I guess prepared to see a date like that. So it's ultimately it's fine. So then, yeah. Do you have any other thoughts or?
Gonna have to watch that Final Fantasy trailer a couple more times. Okay, so overall, the VR stuff's great. Resident Evil 4, awesome. Super excited for that. That seems cool. Obviously, the big moves here, though, were Resident Evil 4 announced. We didn't even learn much about PSVR, just that they're selling software first. They're kind of selling us on the software first, which is smart. So that was cool.
Oh, we actually had a pretty lengthy rundown on a lot of the hardware details, I think, not that long ago in a PlayStation blog.
So it was nice to see kind of how they're supporting it.
I think I was right when I said technical details blog and software and trailers, these state of plays, and that makes sense.
I got to focus on the Final Fantasy 16 thing, though. Okay, so, yeah, initial thought. Year away, that's painful, but take this in. What we just saw was of such a higher fidelity and quality than what they showed us at the Tokyo Game Show last year. You know, like, remember when we got our first taste and we were like, okay, looks like a game in development, but it looks good. I'm excited to see where they take it. That had a lot of polish. So we're getting there. That's going to get another year of polish.
Yeah, I suppose so, right? It looks like it's really coming along. Yeah, I'm really interested. It looks like this also might be the first mainline Final Fantasy game that is a solo protagonist. I mean, I'm assuming we might get kind of like 12 where like somebody joins you in segments or whatever, like a guest or whatever, but it doesn't look like there's essentially like a long-term party at play here. The UI suggested nothing of the sort, and we haven't seen still to this point any evidence of other characters being controllable, being present in battles, whatever. And with sort of this action combat with like the kind of the DMC sort of vibe to it, it's heavily suggesting, at least from my perspective right now, that this might be actually our sort of our first largely solo outing in a mainline Final Fantasy game. And that's okay. I'm not against it. I'm interested to see how it goes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind the dropping of the party so much. It looks like okay. This is going to seem like a weird aside, but it kind of looks like they're doing like an Onimusha thing where you have like the different like battle styles that are changed depending on what icon you have equipped. In Onimusha, you have whatever orb you have, so you got like fire, lightning, you can like cycle through your different weapons, right? I'm wondering if it's going to do that kind of thing. So sort of build off like Noctis and the Royal Arms, but it's tied to the summon that you can use. Because those summon fights, the way they had the health bars at the top and the way the summons were dealing like just massive amounts of damage. Like you saw when Clive's his name, right?
Yeah, I think so.
When Clive was attacking and those big swirling attacks are doing like, thousands of damage, but each individual hit was a couple hundred kind of thing. But I think it was big fireball hit Titan, and it hit Titan for like 300,000 damage. Like I think that there's going to be 2 scales of fights, and the big fights are going to be like kaiju fights. Because that seems to be what they're setting it up to be. Like the summon fights seem to be on a different level of intensity, right? And I don't know how that's going to play out, because we didn't really see gameplay of that. We just saw animations of summons hitting each other, which is fine, but I'm super curious as how they're going to do that. And if maybe Clive's whole thing is he can take on multiple icons, and that's like a weird, like that's why he's special. Like I don't know.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking too? I noticed under the health bar there was 3 yellow bars that had sort of
like a super meter.
Well, they had like a rhombus shape to them, and they look exactly like the 14 limit break bar, but just like a different asset. Like LB1, LB2, LB3. Clive LB3. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. What did you think? I think that the Street Fighter 6 kind of having the open roaming thing, I talked about it a lot when we first saw it, but I think it has a lot of promise. I think that could be a really good way to bring sort of casuals and newcomers back into the fold. I think Stray looks really interesting. I still think the walk animation is a little strange, but I'm not gonna.
I was pretty happy with this. I mean, I think Final Fantasy is covering a lot of it, but
yeah,
I do. Okay, so you just sent me a picture, and I gotta talk about it just while we're here.
This was somebody tweeted that it reminded them of concept art from A Realm Reborn, like when they first said they were gonna do this like remake or whatever. They had released like a concept.
But I also want to take this apart real quick, just for a couple of different reasons.
And look at the 16 one. Okay, yeah.
So we see at the side he's got a couple different icons here lined up.
In the bottom right, he has stuff that looks very Dragoon-like.
Oh, I'm going to get to that. So on the top left corner, you see L2 to switch what icon you have equipped.
Yes.
So we have Odin is in main space. Odin's limit break meter, obviously, or to summon Odin for real. I think that's what that circle thing is. That has to fill up. We got what looks like Shiva and Ramu.
I can imagine that, yeah.
So you got Shiva with blue.
Ramu is purple. So do you remember? Sorry. So remember when I said I saw like red, green, and blue, and I was wondering if they had to do with like some types of like combat archetypes. I don't think that's true anymore now that I'm seeing Ramu in purple. I think it's either elemental, or it might even just be color matched to like what they essentially are.
For sure. But what I'm thinking is there's going to be icon tied to jobs, because you look, he's got Odin equipped. Odin's got Gagnir. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Arm of Darkness, Jump, Heaven's Cloud. Like,
Arm of Darkness has like an icon that looks like Odin's icon.
Yeah, so you have these sorts of, job-like abilities. I wish we had more clips of him using other ones.
And said some. Okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So I think job.
There probably might be more information if we where to pause and look at other parts of the trailers. I noticed staggered on the enemy and a multiplier,
honestly,
which seems 15-esque to me.
And 13 and ever since
that's true,
staggering, I'm actually for it. I kind of like that battle system because it definitely gives you
even
incentive
7
to
Remake
keep
does
the
stuff
fight
like that.
going. You know what I mean? Like, to push advantage. And that's something that, like, old Final Fantasy games, if you get to a certain point, you can always just cast heal all every single turn and have all your physical attackers just, nuke the boss. That has always been a tactic that worked in old ones. Not uniformly across the whole series, but it's pretty good. I like the idea that there's opportunities for you to push advantage, and I think that that's good, especially if you're playing a one-player fighting RPG, like action RPG, that has like a combo system. I think anything that encourages you to push your advantage will keep the fighting fresh and engaging.
I'm also noticing perks in the upper left, with
a
bunch of icons that might suggest either the equipment structure or maybe like some kind of a build. I mean, Final Fantasy games always do this sort of thing, or I mean, most of them do this sort of thing where there's like a license board or a job, like the sphere grid, or there's always some kind of like way to like sort of build a character, your materia setup if it's 7 or whatever, right? So it looks like these perks might be related to a system like that. Ability chain, I notice. Iconic. I'm assuming that this is something else, and that you can see. I think it says iconic punishment, and the text is doing some kind of like a animation, and this screenshot is just pause. Iconic pun. Just this shm. You guys can't see the screenshot we're looking at. I'm not actually capturing it. I suppose I could.
Well, there's a lot to go over and dissect.
Yeah. Yeah, this
I don't know. I'm excited.
Take a screenshot of that to display in that segment. Yeah, anyway, so a lot of really interesting, exciting things here for PlayStation 5. I know we're, I think, both quite excited about what we saw. So that's a good state of play. I still stand by my opinion from the start of this that we'll see some kind of follow-up about first-party stuff from them eventually as well. I don't necessarily think it'll be back-to-back, but maybe in a month's time, maybe in July. They're sort of on their own timeline, right? Because it is not like as E3-ish, it's more this open thing. So it could be that in a month or a month and a half or something like that we might be getting sort of the first party version of this, which will be exciting to see as well. I'm guessing. Yeah. Just in case that's not clear. Cool. Yeah. So then, shall I shout the socials and then.
Sure.
And then unleash the viewers back upon their real lives. All right. So you can find us on thispodcastcannotcontinue.ca, and there's links to everything else I'm about to mention on the bottom of that page. But we are on Twitter at TPCC_podcast. We are on YouTube and Twitch as This Podcast Cannot Continue. In the case of Twitch, no spaces. That's also what we are on Instagram, This Podcast Cannot Continue. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think I'm not. I think I'm actually not. Oh, the actual podcast episodes can be found on Spotify, Apple Music's podcasts section.
Anywhere you stream your podcasts.
Anywhere where you can stream podcasts, we should be on it. If we're not, let us know. But I think through our publishing system that we've basically covered all of them. So we should be available everywhere you can stream a podcast. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, which that's the only place it'll be. If you're watching it somewhere else, that's kind of suspect. If you're watching it on YouTube, feel free to give it a like and give the channel a subscribe. We appreciate it a lot. It helps us out, helps with the numbers, helps with the YouTube hustle. You know the deal. Everyone says that you're sick of hearing it, but I cannot understate that it is much appreciated. Yeah. I think that covers all of it.
That covers it. Like Ben said, thanks for watching. Let us know down below what you thought of this state of play. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I liked it. I mean, honestly, I'm just going to watch this Final Fantasy 16 thing a million times. So I'm going to go do that.
I'm going to go watch it again as well.
And I would say for now, this podcast cannot continue.